You read the title correctly. We could be seeing 2 Need for Speed games this year. Of course, I had to bring this to you ASAP, my friends. You already know this is the best place to hear Need for Speed 2022 info. I love Need for Speed. We actually touched upon this idea previously, but now we have, apparently, a few more leaks to tell us more details about these 2 Need for Speed games. Timmy or Timmy, whatever, studios and EA plan to collaborate to create a mobile Need for Speed. Now, wait. I know. Mobile game. Just hold on, because this could be interesting. Of course, we've already spoke about Need for Speed 2022 already being a full-fledged game. It's going to come out hopefully this year. I imagine so. They can't delay it again, surely. But it seems like they're working on a mobile game to kind of go along with it or at the same time as it. We don't know exactly yet, but we have the first details. This information actually comes courtesy of BlueStacks. You know that Android emulator people? Yeah. Realistically, it came from Reddit, and then they saw it, and they were like, mobile games! So, yeah, it makes sense. Here is the first image that we see of this game, and clearly, it kind of looks like Heat, which is good. I was a little bit worried about Criterion taking over, and this is the mobile game. Realistically, if you think back, remember when 2015 was coming out? Oh, glorious 2015, looks so good. Well, remember the mobile game that came out, Need for Speed No Limits, at the same time? We actually got that earlier than the main Need for Speed game, which really gave us a glimpse of what they were going to do, because we had Rivals before, which was, yes. And then, all of a sudden, we get this game, which is going to tell us exactly what the main game is going to be like. It's really handy. It seems like we're getting a Heat 2 almost, which I would not complain about. Just make sure you do some updates and some good multiplayer. Now, this game is apparently going to be in Unreal Engine 4, which is going to help in terms of graphics. I don't know. Realistically, it's a mobile game. It's going to look good, but what interests me is that the idea is it's going to be an online open world mobile game, which normally, if you've seen most mobile games, realistically, they just kind of, you drive in a straight line, you do drag racing, or that's about it, really. There's not much else. Like, the small mobile games tend to be the best, and finally, we're getting a big mobile game that seems to be, apparently, according to rumors, open world online. That's it. Maybe we'll actually see it on Switch and stuff too. That would be pretty cool. I'd like that. EA has yet to confirm it. Of course, why would they? It's January. I had to check the date there. I was like, oh, it's still December. It's still November. I'm still in March 2020. I don't know about you. But a Redditor went through some job listings. Cheers, Reddit. Love-hate relationship with Reddit. From jobs of 3D animators, project managers, a bunch of these jobs which kind of leaked what we're going to hear about the mobile game. But I want to tone it down a little bit and be real with you guys, because, I mean, it's pretty important that we do that. This game is being developed by a Chinese studio. It's being developed for the Chinese market. This is going to be another Need for Speed Online. We've had a couple of Need for Speed Onlines, mainly Need for Speed Edge, which ended up Chinese market only and died after like a few months, I think. The image we've seen, it's just Chinese market. Now, the studios making it are China-based. Will they get a soft launch there? Will it launch there only? We need to know these things, and I'm gonna say I don't particularly think that this is gonna be in our markets at least anytime soon. I wouldn't get massively excited about it coming out this year for us, or if at all, it might not ever see the light of day. The studio that made Need for Speed No Limits is Australian. They had a soft launch in Australia. We all kind of got around that. There are ways. We will have access to it in a way, but will we understand what the hell anything says? But at the same time, I don't want to sit here and say it's never going to happen, because the same studio made Call of Duty Mobile, which we can access, and it's pretty good. From what I've heard, people really like Call of Duty Mobile. So that's good news. If they did a good job there, and as I said, this is going to be the first open world mobile racing game by a AAA studio, this could be super exciting. I could be downplaying it, but I don't want to get massively in the idea in my head, because I'm real. I'm a realist. They also made Arena of Valor. Is that what it's called? Again, a very popular mobile game. And just to, again, bring it down a little bit, just it's being kind of led by Tencent, which instantly puts a lot of fear into people. But you know, they're doing better. Just to go back on the No Limits thing, they are an Australian studio. There's Fire Monkeys. They made Real Racing. So would they really kill that? I don't know, because they constantly give that thing updates, refreshes, which maybe they've hit their limits and they're like, right, now it's time for a new one, and this is what that could be. It was shown on a leaked list of upcoming games. It's since been removed and brought forward, apparently to Q2 this year, which would put it before the main Need for Speed, which happened before with no limits. So it could already be out. We just don't know. We've also got a Joy of Life mobile DNF. Okay. What? Also a mention of Legend of Honor. I think I thought Medal of Honor in my head for some reason. But we got a bunch of games that we'd have no idea. It doesn't matter. But at the same time, it was added to the list and then removed, which tells us is now earlier. Or later, considering that Need for Speed is not going to come out until later. But I don't know. If it's ready, then out of nowhere in this article, all of a sudden they start talking about Need for Speed 2022 full fat console PC version. Full fat. That's what we're going to call it. Need for Speed 2022 full fat. Instead of like skimmed milk. Right. So they started talking about pulling rumors out of nowhere. Now, this is where I felt a little bit of the article when, I don't know, because they just kind of pulled things out of nowhere. They sourced original sources in the original. They sourced Reddit, as I mentioned earlier, and they sourced a bunch of other little bits on the internet that they've previously mentioned. So ultimately, take this next stuff with a pinch of salt, because again, they've been making Battlefield. They assume the map will be based in Chicago, which would be pretty cool. I was actually hoping for maybe like a New York, so it's similar in structure layout. I think that would be pretty cool. They say they'll be focusing on the single player experience, which I'm not sure if that would be accurate at all, considering that the last 3 games, that's what we've complained about, the fact that they're mostly focusing on single player, and the last minute adding multiplayer things when everyone stopped playing the game. They're focusing on a better storyline, better graphical improvements. They mention a cartoon graffiti art style. Again, this is just, there's no link back to where this is proof. I'm telling a lie, there was one link back, which was a picture of a bag. Great. Great. But for sure, this sounds interesting. If they have made an article based on these mobile leaks, I think, you know, we could potentially see some of this come true. Again, if they are going to focus on single player, that is a big #1 issue for me right there. And I know that's weird considering that the single player to me is generally my favorite part, but it needs to last longer than the others. That's been the big issue with Need for Speed games. That's the reason people say they don't like Heat. The game itself, people really like it. And you can say what you want. It is a freaking solid game. It's so much fun. But in today's age, when GTA has been updating for what? 8 years now, almost. Having 2 updates that fix the game and add 1 car is not good enough anymore. Most people, when they're done with the single player, are going to move over to the multiplayer and stick with the multiplayer and do that and nothing else. So it would be really dumb to just ignore that. But at the same time, I want to tell you my position on this in that it doesn't make sense to also just focus on multiplayer. I don't want them to focus more on multiplayer. I would rather have a balance of the 2. I'm saying, realistically, I don't expect this Need for Speed game to tick all the boxes. I think if you look at Heat, we're probably going to get a very good idea of what this game is going to be. Even going back to that image, it's clearly Heat-esque. You can already tell. It needs to just kind of elevate what Heat did. Heat did many, many things right, and all they really need to do is continue that and add multiplayer stuff. Add endgame stuff in both sides. Make the story a little bit longer. Have some side story stuff in it. They need to just elevate what they already have. Again, I'm not saying just reuse the story, but you know what I'm saying. Realistically, they have a good base. Like bringing up this page, this is just on their website. There's also lists on Google of how many jobs they're still hiring for Need for Speed. Art, game design, art, software development, quality verification. Again, those are quite useful. Software development, C++, software engineer for gameplay, like technical project manager, handling design, associate producer, producer intern, design intern. There's so many job roles available, which to me shows EA is clearly going at it. Like they are fully pumping money into this. This is their last chance to form a studio again for a racing game. But my point is, I think that they're going to be using this as not a stopgap, but a stopgap. This Need for Speed is going to be good. It's going to be better than Heat. But I think they're going to use this time to continue to hire, to continue to learn, to continue to build, because they're using the previous stuff. They're using Ghost's old tools to make this game. I think there's going to be some changes, but I don't think we're going to see any huge changes. For example, Codemasters. Hopefully we see some Cody's people move over to Need for Speed. There's a whole bunch of stuff that has to happen between the development of this game. The next game, I think, and the next few games are going to be massive. And that's completely forgetting the fact that hopefully the next game is going to be next gen and PC only, because it will be 2 years from this one. So everyone should have, there should be slim consoles by then. You get the idea. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, let me know your opinions down below. I have to give you this news as quick as possible because you already know that's what I do. Need for Speed, Mr. Need for Speed, let's go. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.